I hate absolutely everything about running.
2 weeks ago, I ran 3 kilometres of what was meant to be a 5 kilometre run. Now I'm ready to conquer a marathon. My name is Benjamin Ross.
I'm Sam Flannery. I'm 16.
I'm 16 and one of the 2 runners in the Untrained Marathon. I think what we're setting out to achieve is, pretty much just trying to see how far we can push ourselves without obviously doing too much training, and seeing where our body and fitness is at this current moment in time.
I think Ben and I are very similar when it comes to fitness background and running background, because we both equally hate running. We don't particularly do any running at all. We both play football, and I think that's the only place where we actually get some running in our legs. And we went for a 5 kilometer run before the event, and we both hated that so much. So I think we're very similar.
I think mentally it will be difficult. Anything beyond 10 kilometers is going to get difficult. And physically, I'm thinking around the 30 kilometer mark is where it's going to be really, really hitting home.
Ben and I both share a mindset that will not let us quit. I think, like everyone, we'll feel it get real tough, but quitting isn't really an option. I think for us, it's more, if we can't run, we walk. If we can't walk, we crawl. And I think that's what's gonna get us through this.
I do have injury concerns in my knee specifically. I've had to have some physio this year for that, and just generally running on flat concrete for 42 kilometers can't do too much good. But we'll see how it goes, and we're in a period of no training for a week or so now, so should have a bit of recovery time there as well.
I think when it comes to actual understanding of running and running preparation and training and how it works on the day, I think we lack that. I've read many books about sports science, sports nutrition, sports performance, but when it comes to running specifically, my technique is not exactly that of a runner's. Ben's technique is not exactly that of a runner's. So I think really that is part of this experiment, is seeing what people can do that have no experience in running at all and no training, that won't move in the most efficient way if they can complete this. Do your parents have concerns?
Yes, especially initially they weren't overly supportive. I think they saw the idea itself as a bit of a disrespectful action to anyone who had trained for a marathon in the past. But I think they came around to it as more of an adventure / experiment type idea.
You can't run a marathon. I'll say it from the rooftops. You can't run a marathon on no training. You Looney Tunes. Good night.
To be honest, I think it is fair. However, I'm giving us more of a chance than they are at this moment in time, and we'll see how it goes.
We did a ride to the Gold Coast about 10, 11 months ago that was about 100 kilometres.
I think we found that in the end it was more mentally demanding than physical. I think the run is going to be a lot more physically demanding, at least for us, than the ride was.
I think that ride has, in a way, given us some preparation and understanding of what these long fitness adventures feel like on the body and on the mind, because it's non-stop for so long, and that one was about maybe 10 hours ish, and that that non-stop activity for that long really has given us an understanding of what that kind of mental fortitude feels like. These fitness adventures something you want to keep doing?
Yeah, why not? What preparations did you have?
We knew we might need some shoes to run this in, rather than just some trainers that we that are for looks. So we knew that we needed some running shoes. I got myself a fairly decent pair of Brooks, and Ben got himself a decent pair of Asics.
We did decide we needed to prepare food for the run, because 4 or 5 hours with no training could require some, extra assistance in the form of carbs. We plan to start at 4:30, partly to avoid the heat and also just to add an extra element of difficulty to it, but also some motivation in there as well.
Seeing as though it's so early in the morning, we haven't actually quite figured out how we're getting there yet.
So we started off at 4:30 in the morning at Hamilton.
And we ran all along the river walk, through New Farm.
And proceeded to run all the way down the river under the Story Bridge.
Into the Botanical Gardens.
Through the city.
To around to Wong Village. And then we retraced ourselves back through the Botanical Gardens and the river walk to the Story Bridge.
Crossed over and then ran down under Kangaroo Point Cliffs.
Through South Bank.
Back across into the city and then along the river walk again, this time going beyond Toowong Village into the University of Queensland.
And then around the Princess Alexandra Hospital and then finishing in Greenslopes.
Oh boy.
Five K's down, Samuel. Give us a wrap.
I can't lie. That's a much more pleasant 5K than I was expecting. You feeling the same?
Not feeling too bad, actually. Nothing awful has gone wrong yet, so that's a good start.
20 minutes, same point.
Hell yeah. Alright, well, when we check back in at Story Bridge?
Yeah, 15 K's-ish.
Yeah, right. See you, Samuel.
Stop out. Benny, what about 10K's down?
We're at about 10K's just under, I believe.
What, 45 minutes?
Yeah, just going into the that's the Story Bridge.
How you feeling? How's the body?
Look, I really can't give a judgment on whether it's better or worse than I thought it was because, to be honest, I haven't really thought about this whatsoever. But apparently I'm still running, so therefore I'm still running.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same. All right.
We're halfway. It's getting, I think you could say tough, yeah. Body's yeah.
I've never run anywhere near this in my life.
It's a very, very cloudy morning.
Not a lot going for me right now.
We're getting back to the
hills.
We're heading back to the Story Bridge and then across. And then it's back to U2
back home.
and to the finish. So mate, 32 kilometres I believe. 33. Feeling.
Oh mate, I don't know how much left in it.
I think we'll leave it there.
What are you, Benny?
Wait, it took some weight as well?
Yeah.
Wow. How are you going?
Not great.
Yeah, so now that we're done, it's a day after. The knees were very, very sore yesterday, but it's more just gone to general soreness through the legs. But honestly, it could have been well worse. Walking's pretty much fine, actually.
I think we were so close to stopping. I think in my mind, I had the thought, let's just get to this next pole and then we'll have a break, we'll have a drink, we'll stop there. But somehow we just kept putting one foot in front of the other and got into a rhythm, not a pleasant rhythm, but a rhythm that got us to keep running. But there was, at a point, Kangaroo Point, nearly just cracked it. Like, we were so close to stopping.
We were so used to just falling onto the next foot that I think that's what just kind of kept us going. And at that point, every step that we took we really felt as a step closer to the finish line. 5 kilometers in, we were, I think, both feeling amazing. We were going at a very good pace at that point. The city was swinging into view and it was an amazing time of day to be running. So I think at 5 kilometers, should I say, was probably our most optimistic point. Halfway, as I said, that's where it turned and got quite bad. You know, we started feeling pain all through the legs. I think most of the time our upper body was fine and certainly our cardio was pretty much fine. But it was a pain in the legs that started kicking in from that point that almost killed us.
I think the non-training, you really start to notice you haven't trained for that kind of distance. So halfway, it was not pleasant. 33
kilometers was one of the worst points, I think. It was, at that point, you still have around 10 kilometers to go.
I think that was nearly, when we tapped out.
It was just a totally unknown kind of position to be in for both of us. And we were just shuffling along at that point, getting passed by people who were significantly older than us. And I really think it was just a head down and try and forget about how long you had to go at that point.
From about 33 kilometers to the finish, Ben and I did not say a single word to each other. It was just head down, try and get this thing done.
We did have one gentleman past us who I think probably would have been around his 50s, I would say. Somewhat teasing us for being overtaken by a 50-year-old, to which we did have the response readily lined up that we were in fact 38 kilometers into running a marathon, and he did immediately retract his tease and was very complimentary in the end.
The finish was so satisfying, one of the best feelings I've felt in a very long time, because that all that pain you've just done is now, has now come to something. I think if we did tap out of that 33 kilometers, there would have been so much regret and so much disappointment in ourselves. So to actually get there and be greeted by Ben's dad and his brother was such an amazing feeling.
Almost relief, actually, to the point at the end, but obviously it was a very good feeling, and it was still quite early on in the morning at that stage, so we had the whole day to just enjoy the accomplishment or overcoming of this goal that we'd set for ourselves.
I pulled up really sore straight after the run. It was really bad, but this morning I'm feeling really good, actually. My knees a little bit sore. I was walking down the stairs to go mow the lawn, and I felt the knees go a little bit, and my hips are still tight, but I guess that's what you're gonna have to expect when you just run a marathon and no training. If we were going to do it again, we would want to at least attempt half first, just so we knew we could do half, because I think we get to halfway and 22 kilometers seems like such a foreign number, and we had never even gotten close to a number like that. So to then add another, 21 Ks on top of that was just, felt ridiculous and felt like we shouldn't have been doing it.